Well, hey everybody, it's me, Jermaine, and I'm back with another Simple Truth update. And first thing I want to share with you as I go into this Simple Truth update is to kind of give you an understanding of what the Simple Truth is all about. The Simple Truth is merely an opportunity for me to share with you truth. If you care to listen, if you care to accept it. But on top of that, it's sharing truth from the most simplistic mindset and view you can possibly have. I really and truly strive to make sure that anything that I discuss or talk about, whether it be economic, whether it be political, whether it be current events, whether it be belief, and many, many other things, social situations, I do so with the intention of making it so simple that even the most youthful, comprehending child could understand it. Because I believe things sometimes get too complicated and people have too many things that they bring to bear to give to people, and they feel that just because they have this medium of social media that they get out here and they just really and truly sometimes want to show how smart they are, or they want to show what expertise they have. But it's just, the simple truth is merely the ability to give you truth on a very, very, very simple level. And so here we go with today's simple truth. Now today's simple truth is, as I was listening to my scriptures for the morning, a lot of times I'm on the go and I use a Bible app, and I literally listen to my scriptures on a daily basis so that I can get my word in, and I can keep doing the things that are necessary to do to keep my day-to-day going. But a lot of times when you listen, you have an opportunity to pick up things that maybe you would not have picked up on maybe when you were reading. And the thing I want to share with you is, I was in the book of Exodus and I'm listening to Moses talk about the commandments of the Most High. As many of you know that follow my channel, that I am an Israelite, as the Bible states. You can go back on my past videos and get a better understanding on that. But what it comes down to is that it amazes me how in the society we live in and the world we live in, that it is so easy for so many people to disregard the words of the Most High. Many of you call him God. But it is so easy to just cast aside the words of the Most High and do whatever they want to do. Well, that is supported by the Christian mindset that the laws, the statutes, the commandments that the Most High laid out for not only his people Israel, but anyone that would come and want to join themselves with Israel, as long as they follow those laws, statutes, and commandments, they too would be a part of the family of Israel. And you hear the things that are laid out, and not only are they laid out very clearly and very succinctly, but the words are really and truly important, because the Most High has made it clear that even all of the things that he said, as many in today's day and age would say way back then, he still wants his people to adhere to those things even in today's day and time. You have many in the Christian faith that believe that after the birth, the ministry, the death, and the resurrection, and then ascension back to Shemayim, or heaven, by Jesus, Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ, that after he did those things, that everything that was back then, i.e. the Old Testament, from which is the whole place from which Yeshua's ministry came from, but they say that all those things are now done away with. So anything that the Father said prior to Jesus was the way it was supposed to be, and then anything after is just totally disregarded. I have a question for you. If that be the case, and I really would like to elicit and welcome a dialogue. Don't beat me up because of what you perceive to be one thing. I want, if you're going to be a part of this dialogue, I truly want you to not give me a reference from your opinion, because what I'm sharing with you and stating with you is not my opinion. It is from the word itself. It is from what the Father himself said. The Bible clearly states that he says, I am Yahweh thy Elohim. I am the Lord thy God, and I change not. So if he doesn't change, and these things that the Father asked us to do in the book of Exodus, in the book of Leviticus, and the book of Deuteronomy, part of the Torah, or as many in today's terminology would say, the Old Testament. If he does not change, and he said a lot of these things would be a perpetual thing. Do your homework. What does the word perpetual mean? It would be everlasting. What does the word everlasting mean? Then why is it that if you follow the Bible, I'm not talking about a man's opinion. I'm not talking about the doctrinal or theologians or the theological church fathers, but if you follow the Bible itself, the very things that was spoken of in the Torah, or i.e. the Old Testament, are the very things that Jesus spoke of, preached, and taught. You have to really and truly open yourself up for truth, because what starts to happen is the first thing that truth is going to do, it's going to make you mad, it's going to anger you, it's going to piss you off. That's the first thing that truth is really going to do. And then you reach a crossroads once those things happen, that you can either continue in the same vein that you've always been in, or you can take the time, wipe away all the things that you've been taught before. Sounds kind of familiar? Paul said, in order to better know Christ, I had to unlearn all that I ever knew in order to better know Christ. Then if Paul, one of the greatest scholars that the Bible has ever spoken of, and apostle himself, if he had to unlearn, why is it that we feel we don't have to unlearn? Just some food for thought, and something that I hope will spark an intelligent dialogue. Not one based in feelings and emotions, and not one based upon people's opinion. This has been the simple truth, and as I always tell you, it's the simple things that are oftentimes the most profound, but yet they're the most difficult to put into practice and to actually do. I want to thank you for joining me, And I'll be sure to see you, and you again on another episode real soon.